Ep.2, A Ghost Ship Found. December 4th, 1872, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. A sailor climbs to the lookout post of a passing ship, squints through the salt wind, and sees something that makes him go very, very still. A ship, drifting alone, with no one at the helm. The vessel that made the discovery was called the Dei Gratia. She had left New York just 8 days after the Mary Celeste, carrying a crew of 8 men and a cargo of petroleum bound for Gibraltar. Her captain was a man named David Morehouse, experienced, steady, and well-respected in the maritime world. And as it happened, David Morehouse knew Benjamin Briggs personally. The two captains had dined together just days before their ships departed. They had spoken of their routes, their cargo, their families. Morehouse had shaken Briggs's hand and wished him a safe passage. He had no reason to think it would be anything else. But now, on the afternoon of December 4th, one of Morehouse's crew spotted something on the horizon. A brigantine, 2 masts, moving strangely. Not with the confidence of a vessel under command, but drifting, tilting slightly, wandering without purpose across the open sea. Morehouse raised his telescope. He recognized her almost immediately, the Mary Celeste. His first thought was that something must have gone wrong on board, a medical emergency perhaps, a fire below decks. He ordered his men to bring the Dei Gratia closer and called out across the water. No response. They called again, louder. The wind carried their voices out across the waves and brought nothing back. Morehouse sent 3 of his men across in a small boat. The first officer, Oliver DeVoe, led the boarding party. He had sailed for many years. He had seen storms, disasters, capsized vessels and broken hulls. He was not a man easily unsettled, but what he found on the Mary Celeste unsettled him deeply. The ship was intact. No fire, no collision damage, no hole in the hull. She was wet from recent weather, but structurally sound. Her sails were partially set, some torn, some in order, as if she had been sailing and then simply forgotten how to stop. DeVoe moved carefully through the vessel. The cargo hold? All 1,700 barrels of alcohol, still stacked and sealed, untouched. The crew's quarters, personal belongings exactly where they had been left, clothing folded, boots sitting by the bunks, a sewing kit, needles still threaded, as if their owners had simply stepped out for a moment. The captain's cabin, Sarah Briggs' personal items on the small desk, a melodeon, a small keyboard instrument she had been playing on the voyage, sheet music still open on the stand, as if someone had paused mid-song, and little Sophia's toys, still arranged neatly on the shelf above her sleeping space. DeVoe stood there for a long moment. The ship was silent except for the creak of the hull and the sound of water moving gently below. In the galley, the stove was cold, but the last meal had been prepared. Food on the table, cups set out, a pot still on the hook above the stove, as if breakfast had been moments away from being served. And yet, not one living person was on board. Not the captain, not his wife, not the child, not a single one of the 7 crewmen. The only lifeboat was gone. But the ropes that would normally be used to lower it were still coiled neatly in place, undisturbed, as if the boat had not been lowered, but lifted away. DeVoe returned to the Dei Gratia. He stood before Captain Morehouse and gave his report quietly, methodically, the way a man speaks when he is trying very hard not to sound afraid. When he finished, The two men looked at each other in silence. 10 people, an entire ship, gone. The Mary Celeste was still seaworthy. Morehouse made the decision to sail her to Gibraltar as salvage, a difficult journey requiring him to split his already small crew across 2 vessels. And as the Dei Gratia and the Mary Celeste moved slowly across the Atlantic together, side by side through the gray December water, the questions had already begun. Where had they gone? Why had they gone? And why had they left so suddenly that a mother had not even stopped to gather her child's toys? In the next episode, the investigators arrive, and the evidence they find raises questions far darker than anyone expected. Because some of the details on board the Mary Celeste simply make no sense at all.